Oh.
So, a big welcome. It's 4th of July. Happy Independence Day for the United States of America. This is Hucolo, humancolonies.org. I am a Rowie, and I'm introducing today our special Saturday webinar. So, I just want a big round of applause for everybody that's here today. We've got such a lovely little group here today. So, we're going to have an intention that this is going to be a wonderful webinar. Lots of beautiful information is going to come our way, and it's going to touch everybody else who's listening in on YouTube and everywhere else around the world, and so I hear the galaxy. So, without further ado, I want to pass it over to the wonderful Sabrina to do some quick introduction.
Thank you, Rowie, and I want to say Happy Independence Day, but I'm going to give it a twist, and I want to say Happy Independence from all the things that keep us from becoming who we are. So, and also Happy Independence from everything else in the world that keeps everyone else from becoming who they are. So, I wish that for everybody. And I want to welcome everyone who's here. Shiny Dude, which is Sean, of course, Sarah, Roxanne is visiting us today. Liney is here, wow. Kim, Kaspar, of course, James, Rowie, and Guru Dan. So welcome everybody. And in the room with Jim, I will let Jim introduce who's sitting with him. Hello, Jim.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. How are
I'm
you?
wonderful. I'm great. So with me, we'll go around the room here. We have Raymond and John and Mark and Barbara and Helga and Sandy and Will and whoever I am. So and that is and Francine may come as well. We're not sure. So
Okay. And who are you?
yeah, I'm not sure today. We'll see who's coming.
Okay.
Many faces.
Many faces are coming, yes. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know how many are coming. I really don't.
Okay, so do you have any announcements, Jim? Are you going to be doing anything?
Well, we're still looking for a place to do the webinar because, of course, we're running out of room here, but it's still a wonderful crowd and it's nice and close, so the energy gets to me real easy. So, but nothing that I have in stone right at the moment, but there are things
Okay.
coming up that I will talk about in the future.
I have
Okay.
just
I
one.
want to say, oh,
Yeah, I
um,
just have one, Sabrina. Sorry. I
okay.
just want to say a big thank you and congratulations. All this week, we've had a webinar going every day this week. And I just want to say a big thank you to all the people that have been stepping up and doing their thing and creating their own little passions of joy and sharing those with the world. So much gratitude for all you guys doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to mention also the webinar that Will did, and that was really great. I think everybody had a really good experience with that. And I also wanted to mention the one that Sean did with Ash, and
That was excellent, yes.
that was really good also. It was on telepathy. Everybody had lots of fun on that. And of course, I did the languages. I will be doing um, other ones on shadow work. So if you're interested in that, please let me know because I'm not going to be adding people that are not interested in working on that. Um, so if you are interested, just send me a note, um, email, chat box, whatever. I'll get it, and then I'll add you in there. But I already have things planned they're guiding me on a lot of stuff. So basically bombarding me with information on certain things to do. So so
Yes,
I
we were
think that
just
will be
talking.
good.
We were just talking about you, Sabrina, the other day, and we're saying that there is stuff coming for you. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. I just wanted to also say that the fact that there are so many webinars and so many hangouts going on, it is so wonderful. Um, it gives human colonies such diversity. There's so much information out there now, and it's all so really wonderful. There's people doing technology, there's people doing shadow energy, there's people doing so many things that can help other people, and I'm really like so very proud of the community out there for pitching in and communicating to the world, because you know your special brand of communication might just link up with somebody else that doesn't usually do this kind of thing or listen to this kind of thing. Your personal personality and brand of teaching might be just what somebody needs that somebody else doesn't have. So we are just really excited that so many different personalities are sharing with the colony and with the world, because that's an outreach program that I could never ever possibly do by myself. So you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much, Sabrina and Roe and Guru Dan and so many of you. Kim, just wonderful, and
Yeah.
Roxanne, of course.
Kim is doing her own channeling,
Yes,
and Sarah's also doing healing. So
I heard that was fantastic. I'm going to watch that. So many of you are doing great work, and I appreciate it so much. This isn't just about me. It's not about me. It's about the information that is going out to the world, the information that is necessary for the world to hear, to rise. So thank you and congratulations for your success in that area, because it's awesome. It's very exciting.
yes,
So that's all
and
I have
I'm
to
sure
say.
there will be some more to come. So I'm sure Roy eventually will
Hmm.
do his own.
Yes.
That's
Excellent.
that's a
Now,
hint.
go ahead.
I said that was a hint.
Oh, okay. Does anybody want to hear anyone special today? I can't promise they'll all come through, but they said to ask if you wanted to talk to anybody in particular today.
Yeah.
The Hathors.
The Hathors.
I also wanted to re-invite Salusa, that she was there last week, and she
Yes.
didn't get a chance to speak.
Who
So
is
Salusa
Salusa?
is from the Federation of Light. She's a Syrian.
Ah,
I believe she's a Syrian.
yeah.
So
I'd like
I wanted
that
to
request.
say that,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, gets a chance to come.
I'd like to ask for somebody who can bring me information about the 𝗪𝗓. I have some questions regarding that.
I never heard of the 𝗪𝗓. There's so many out there.
Yeah, it's a new thing that's come up, and it's got me curious. So I'd like to ask
Okay.
anybody who has a question on their information.
Jim, if you have anybody who would know about the Earth grids and the light grids upon the Earth, I've got a few questions I would like to ask about that as well.
Cryon knows all about those. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that it is related to somebody
And
who
who are
had a
the
recent.
ones that they asked for? The
Hathors.
Who are they? Who are the Hathors? Oh, they work with sound.
Yes.
All right. Okay, the Hathors. Are they a species?
Yes.
Yes.
Just recently, I woke up in the night and there was a number language that was being taught to me. Very in-depth number language, which is when you put the numbers together in specific ways means different things, and and also they use a few different symbols as well between, instead of periods and stuff, they use different kinds of symbols between their sentences. And also, like, I'll just give you an example. One is always a beginning, a restart, or a Genesis number. But when it's doubled, it can be meaning something else. Like if you put two ones together, then one is always at the beginning. You will, anything that they start will always start with a one, and it is a basic start Genesis place, and that will give you the idea of where to start a sentence, because it's a run-on. It runs on, so every time you just see a one, you know that's a new start, or a start, or something of that nature. So it's very, very interesting. I was up for about an hour listening to it. I'm going to have to write it down because it's just really
Yeah, it sounds
unbelievable.
really good, Jim. If you
It's
could write
really,
it down and pass it
yes,
on to the group.
yes, because when you say number two, that's creative, productive, expansive, blah blah. I mean, they give so many meanings, but then when you have double two, it's masterpiece, or a genius art, or things of that nature. It changes the meanings of it slightly. So from a creative, it goes to masterpiece with two twos, and then it continues out from there. But the twos are always in the creative element of the thing. So it's very interesting. But 1 2 is just creative. 2 2s is beyond creative. It's masterpiece, or of a great.
We'll record it.
Yes. It's so. I just had to throw that in because that was last night, and the night before they were just throwing this at me, and I was like, whoa, I don't remember it all. They're going to have to do it again because some of it was just beyond my comprehension in some ways, because it goes out to 3 numbers in a row. So you have 1 number, 2 number, and 3 numbers in a row. So, but not 4. It doesn't go out to 4.
He wants to invite somebody in.
Yes.
Oh, Lady Venus?
Lady who?
Venus?
Lady Venus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, a quick request for Yahyel as well from the chat box.
I can't remember the name of that group. All right, the
Hathor.
Hathor. That's a weird one.
The
Hathor.
Hathors were.
Jen, what about Mother Earth?
Mother Earth, Gaia. Somebody requested Mother Earth.
Ooh, Gaia. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yes, that would be
yeah.
really good.
Oh, heal it.
That would be really good.
Actually, she's here with us right now, so she would be an easy one to bring through.
Awesome.
So,
That would
all
be
right.
wonderful.
Okay, so we now let you focus in.
All right, I'll see you later, and we'll see who comes through.
Okay.
Before I start, I'm going to take a drink of water.
Good choice. Energy's really good today.
Yes. 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 The Hawthorns. Representing Hawthorns. Representing Hathor. Hathor.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you for asking. One moment.
Yes.
Be aware that we are here, but one moment, please. Be aware that we are here. Is this coming through?
Yes, it is.
You are interested in our concepts.
Yes.
They affect you as well.
Yes, they do.
They are part of who you are in many ways. You adapt many things about us to your nature eventually.
Yes,
Your nature has much sound, and it is effective on the way that things are permitted in your planet. The harshness of sound can also be interpreted as negative to you. However, it is not always so. Your understanding of sound is primitive. It makes me feel like I should start at the very beginning, but the very beginning is too far. I could never possibly explain everything from the very beginning.
a download may be preferable.
Perhaps you should ask questions of your present understandings, and I will bring it into a greater understanding. Perhaps that's where we should start.
Very well, thank you. I would like to know what is the relationship between the 7 Hathors and the 7 Sisters of the Pleiades?
A different kind of question altogether. This has nothing to do with sound, but it does have to do with the great divides in the universe. Just like the human and many of the different species have divided brains, you also have divided species. These were a divided species many centuries ago, and now they live as if they are separate from one another, but they cannot possibly live separately in the sense that they are always in energy communication with one another. They need one another's energy to survive, and yet, even though they are not in the same realm at this time, they are of the same thought process, the same understanding, and the same movement, if you will. Now, they will come together again one day, but the time is not yet, and there is some doubt whether they do understand each other at this point. They have grown apart. Does that answer your question?
Yes. So they're two. They're one, but they're in separate.
They're divided.
They're divided.
Yes.
Very well. I also had a question. Why was the Egyptian ritual to name the 7 Hathors before they can enter the paradise in the distant stars? What is that about?
They had to name them. Is that what was the question? I did not understand it quite.
Why was there an Egyptian ritual to name the 7 Hathors to enter paradise in the distant stars?
Oh, that is very easy, because the ritual for the Hathorns is that they must be prepared for burial and for sending off. And this was not actually a ritual for their burial or for their death, but actually a ritual for a continuation of life in a new place. So they were actually just prepared to be sent to the new place, because the ritual was to prepare them in their mind, body, and soul for a new kind of cultural experience. So therefore their cultural experience did change when they moved, and that is why. And it was necessary for them to go because the peoples did not understand them, and it was not time for them to be on Earth in the way that they wanted to be, in the way that the culture would understand who they were in a very real sense. So they had to move on. And the ritual was actually a happy bon voyage, if you will. And it was to give them a great blessing to move to the paradise that they were going to. Actually, it was their home world. That is why it was called paradise, not because it was an actual paradise, but because in their hearts it was where they were longing to go, and that would be a paradise to anyone.
Would that have any benefit to those who are here in this moment of now on Earth?
Yes, it would have some benefit, because there are some here longing to go back to their homelands as well. And many of you have shared your longing to be in another place, to be in your home planets, and to understand what it's like to live there again. However, you have chosen right now your third dimensional life. So, but unlike the Hathorns, you are able to communicate with the world around you, and your need to be here is sustained. So now you must live your third dimensional life, at least a great percentage of you. There will be a few of you that will leave the Earth at specific times and not return. But that is not something that I can discuss with you, because that has to do with other things that I do not cannot prepare you for.
Very well, thank you. And also, what is the relationship between the Sirians and the Hathors?
The Sirians are from Sirius, of course. So, and the Hathors are from the Orion belt. Therefore, there was a union when they met on Earth. Of course, there was some disagreement about why different species were coming and why they were trying to manipulate the people in different ways. So, but their relationship ended up to be friendly, because they were all looked at as supernatural, even though they told the Earthlings and those that are on the Earth at that time that they were not. But they finally got an understanding through that they wanted to be respected as just royalty and not a god. Now, other than that, Ra was an exception to that rule, and there were several others that did want to be worshipped after a time, but this was not the norm.
And the Sirens on Earth, is there any relationship with the Sirens?
The Sirens were the priestesses of the mermaids. And yes, they were seen as great and powerful beings, and did communicate in the councils of Atlantis and those other places. The Egyptians were also aware of Atlantis, as well as the Sirians, but only for a short time before Atlantis was gone.
So is there a connection between the Siren sound and the Hathor sounds?
Oh, of course. Yes. There are the sounds of the Hathorns and the sounds of the Sirens are used in very similar ways. They bring and they can manipulate the different centers of the brains with different species, different sounds for different species, but yet they are manipulative in their sound usage, yes. The brain does respond to different sounds in different ways, and especially at ultrasonic frequencies, if you call it that, I'm not sure. But it does affect the brains in ways if it is attuned to them in a very specific way. Now, the Sirens and the Hathorns knew how to direct sound waves directly to those portions of the brain that would be affected for whatever purpose. We do have our purposes. Sometimes it is used as a weapon. It will just paralyze the person. And that is how we would stop someone from attacking or someone from shooting a gun or using a weapon of some sort. We would use the sound waves to affect the brain for them to not be able to use that part of the body or be paralyzed in fullness or to do things or perhaps move away from us as well. So if there are certain beings in the universe that when they are close to you, they can be harmful just by being in their presence because of different things that are around them, different kinds of bacteria and things of that nature, and perhaps even radiation or different kinds of viruses and things of this nature. So we would actually have them move away from us by using certain sounds that would affect that portion of the brain that would give them the message to move away. Of course, when you're meeting new species, you have to learn the brain rather quickly. But since we have known about 75 different species, we learn the brain very quickly. It is similar in about 80%. Some of the brains that we have learned are not specific to the way we use our sound, so it had to be changed, and so therefore we do know how to manipulate them with sound at this point. It is not a negative thing. We do not ever manipulate anyone who is doing friendly work or we are communicating with or teaching or anything of this nature, but we will help them to learn how to use the sound in this way. Now, our vocal capacities, this is not what we sound like. Our vocal capacities are based in megahertz and sonic systems. Does that make sense? We call it something entirely different from where we're coming from. And it goes from very, very low to very, very high. But it sounds very different than anything you've heard. And the reason is because of modulation. Do you understand modulation?
Mm-hmm.
We can change it and put
Yes.
depth into the modulation. You see, you are hearing a single modulation on this voice. Do you understand that?
Yes.
We can use several kinds of modulation to change the effects of the voice and bring it into understanding. So when we do meet a new species that is hostile, we immediately go through a gradual changing of modulation till we find that brain point that affects them in some way and then work with that.
Very well, thank you. So the sounds that I'm hearing while I'm toning, it's in different levels, different vibrational sound and level.
Yes, you are hearing different well, we'll say modulations for now, but there are only single modulations that are separated by distance. Does that make sense to you?
I will run that over in my mind so I can understand it.
Explain it a different way.
Yes. You are hearing singular modulations separated by, you would call it time-space, and we would call it distance. However,
Yes.
because time-space is necessary for the different modulations to be separated so that you can get the proper information through the different modulations. Now let me explain to you why there are so many different sounds but in only a single modulation. The single modulation in your brain affects small portions of the brain that brings forth different kinds of information that is necessary for that moment, different emotional responses and different thought processes. It is not that we are manipulating the brain, we are just using these modulations for stimulus for you. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So these stimuli that we are giving to you are helping you with your understanding of the Hathor, the Sirians, and many other things, because this informational point where this is stored, because humans do have the capacity in the future with your evolutionary development to create these sounds and modulations in the future. But it is not the near future, but we see that in the human brain there is all things, which makes you very unique. There is all things in the godlike quality, because, of course, every single individual and species has the godlike quality within them, the fire. However, some of them have a limited aspect of the god flame. We are not sure why that is, but humans do not have a limited aspect of the god flame and are able to do more things than most species. Now, there are other species with this same godlike flame within them and can create all the same things that humans can, but there are some species, such as those that did not start out as warm-blooded creatures, that have a limited aspect to it. They will grow into that aspect of full godliness as they become a warm-blooded creature, which is part of evolution. If even theirs is evolution. So this modulations and frequencies is not put in there because it is too harmful for that system. Sounds and of this nature and modulation can destroy them, so they cannot have it at this time. Does this make sense to you?
Yes. Yes. Very good. Thank you. I'll pass the mic for now.
Rowie?
Greetings, dear one.
Yes.
I have a little bit of a comparison I want to understand more between your understanding of sound and music. On Earth, as you probably well know, we have 7 notes varying
Yes.
different octaves, and we also have a certain sound frequency we're able to pick up. How does this relate to what you are able to do, and what can you do beyond this?
Very good question, because it is a relevant question for humanity. You have come from single modulation notes and made them greater with the depth of bringing them into chords, as you call them, and different aspects of creation with different instruments to make them modulate differently. However, all these earthly third-dimensional sounds fall in a single dimension. Does that make sense to you?
Totally.
And so therefore, when we come to your planet and listen to your music, it is one-dimensional in the sense that it is not the depth that we can produce. Our modulations can reach out into space even as yours can as well, but only in a limited way, without amplification. Now, even with amplification, the greatest the third dimension can do would be a second dimensional aspect, which means that your first dimensional aspect is the actual sounds put together and moved together in a modulation that is very apparently good for your ears to hear. Now, you cannot hear some of the modulations that you use. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Because some of the modulation used even on the third dimension cannot be heard.
Yes.
And therefore, in the second modulation, I'll say, the second degree of modulation, this second part that cannot be heard is part of what affects the brain also. It is what reaches the emotions in a greater way. That is the second part of your modulation. The first part is enjoyment. The second part is the modulation. Now with the words added, it becomes also intellectual. But that is not part of the music necessarily. It is the first modulation and the second modulation that is so effective for humanity, because the parts that are not heard of your music are what affect the emotions. There are certain ways to put things together that affect the emotions. Now, it sounds like there are certain portions of the music that are actually speaking to you. Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
This is the emotional attachment with the unseen, unheard portions. So therefore, there are 7 different realms of modulation. And you can possibly do 2. Now there are those pieces of musical modulation that do not affect the emotion very much. Do you realize that? Or at least for some people.
Can you expand on that?
Yes, not all music on your world affects people emotionally.
Ah, yes, correctly. Yes. I think what people are in vibration with, they naturally attract with their music.
Therefore, some of the unheard is not effective on them because they are not attuned to their emotions properly. If you are attuned to your emotions properly, music will have an effect on you. If you are not attuned to your emotions properly, then it will not.
Okay.
There are those that are attuned to their emotions, but it is not properly, they will still be affected. However, some have blocked out this second part of the resonation of the music and do not want to feel the emotional portion. Or even the first portion, for that matter.
Okay. So, let's say a spoken word or intention over the sounds or the music.
Yes.
This would add an extra dimensionality to the music, per se?
It adds the intellect part, but it also adds the part also that emphasizes the invisible, because it adds words to it adds intellect to the emotion. Does that make sense to you?
Okay,
So
yeah, that does.
the intellect is talking to the brain and the emotion is speaking to the body. And therefore, put together, they are very effective.
So I'm looking into areas of sonic healing. Is
Yes.
there any advice you can give to us about healing with sonics and your experience?
Yes. When you are working with sonic healing, feel the resonation of Reiki. You know what Reiki is.
Uh-huh.
We thought that you would because it is a human word from the Orient. We chose that one so that more people would know. However, there is vibration and actually sound in vibration. In every vibration there is sound. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
Even though you do not hear or participate in that sound, in a sense that um, it is not audible to you. But there, when you do Reiki, there is sound going into the body, as well as that energy. The sound that is going into the body modulates itself with the energy of the person that is getting the healing. Do you understand this so far?
So that works on an energetic level rather than a cellular level, or both.
Correct. And both. Because on the cellular level, each cell is also vibrating and giving off sound of its own nature. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
So therefore they work together.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
But
That was
I did not answer your
really...
question yet.
Oh.
Now, if you were to bring, I noticed that many of you bring soft music into your Reiki sessions that move along with your energies and are equivalent to modulations for helpfulness because they are calming. Do you understand that?
Okay.
If you would remove those modulations and bring the Om into the is universal, as you know. Bring an into the vibration of the healing. That would be your sound supervisor, saying that that modulation is what is making everything come to the same vibration, the same sound, the same audio pitch, or whatever. Then, after that, the intention is to move that through the body so that it can perfect what is in the body in that modulation. Do you understand? Once everything in the body is at the same modulation as you and the sounds, the body, the mind, the soul, the spirit, the individuals are all at the same modulation, then what happens? Then that means pain, disease, and everything is modulating at the same frequency as the body. And therefore, what can you do? You can intend for that to create itself into wholeness into the body instead of being something that is harming the body, something that is being creative with the body and becoming part of it. Remember that, becoming part of it, that it can modulate itself into the body in a positive way.
Beautiful.
Now, the belief system has much to do with this on your planet. Because if you do not believe it, it cannot happen, because your intent will be flawed. So, keep in mind that if you can do this, you can create wellness. I still did not answer the question. Not completely. Yes, our modulations for healing come through the brain. We do not go through the body as you must do for the third dimension, but we do go through our healing processes with sound modulation to the brain in certain areas that affect that part of the body. Now, when we do our brain modulations to help each other, which is daily, we definitely balance ourselves and bring each other into modulation with the perfect balance of who that individual is, because as when you're born, your modulation and frequency is measured, and therefore they know how to reach the brain and how to help it become a greater being. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Everything starts very early. Sound modulation is the key to many, many things. The spirit, the fire that burns within you is a God spirit, also has a vibration and a sound. And it sounds like the universe sounds. When you go into the universe, you don't hear anything, do you? But there is a sound that the universe makes as well. Every molecule makes a sound. So therefore, there is sound everywhere, even though it is not audible to every species. If every sound was audible to every species at all times, it would be a conglomeration of sound and noise that you would be insane within 10 minutes.
Yes, just to interrupt, I heard that the way we are structurally made up and having our individual DNA, we are actually a symphony of all our cells, and this gives us our own unique resonant vibrational frequency. Is that correct?
That is very true. I wanted to speak to you also about creating sound, the way that you create sound, because you are a creator of sounds, or you take sounds that are created and create them differently. And this is a gift because you understand modulation, even if it is only one or two densities. It is very powerful for the third density, especially when one can be able to manipulate and create. That is the beginning of where we are. We can create and manipulate our modulations and sounds. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, it makes sense, because I love working with harmonics as well, and layering
yes.
harmonics.
Harmonics are a wonderful thing. They are a source of enjoyment for us as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for answering those questions. That was such an amazing little interaction. My infinite gratitude to you.
Dan?
Hello, greetings.
Greetings.
My friend Alex has a question. She experienced a blue Hathor being the other day, and she was wondering about where that being came from. Is that a part of the Hathor or Hathor group? It was a blue kind of light being.
Yes. Let me understand that the blue color, was it a bright blue?
I think it was a light blue, but kind of ethereal to her.
Yes. That was a Hathor, as you called us.
Okay.
And yes, there was a reason. We work with color quite extensively as well. The blue color gave her peace and understanding, and gave you the intention that the Hathor individual was there for communication purposes. They deal with your chakra colors, but also manifest many other colors that you do not even have in your spectrum. Of course, your spectrum is third dimensional and so limited, but it is still a beautiful and wonderful dimension because of the emotional intensities that can be reached in such positive and joyful, ecstatic ways that we cannot reach, but we can reach some forms of it, but we must stimulate that portion of the brain that is in control of that, and then we can feel it more dramatically like you feel it. But Miss Hathor was there to give some kind of communication. That is the blue color. And color works very well with sound, as you know. Sound and color together are communications that are far beyond what you have in spoken language.
She was given a symbol that was placed on the third eye. It was kind of a Merkaba kind of shape with a white circle in the center of it, and she's wondering what the significance of that symbol is and what she's to do with it.
It's an awakening symbol. That is all.
Okay. Thank you very much. Those are all the questions she has today. Thank you.
Hello, this is Sabrina.
Welcome.
My question is, first of all, how do we, for those that don't have a healer or by themselves, is there something that people can do on their own to help themselves?
You can help yourself. It takes a little longer, but the energy is within you to do so. The sound waves are within you to help yourself. when you mix your energies with other things, the healing process becomes much more quick.
Okay.
However, you can do it yourself, yes.
And how would anyone call upon you to help them with the healing of the body, let's say, or the mind, spirit?
Calling on us, you mean?
Yes.
It is not relevant. You cannot call on us to help you heal.
Okay.
We are not in your dimension. We can pass over through it, but I am sure it would not be looked at as a positive thing by others in the galaxy or those that are in your particular space around your planet.
Okay. The other question I had read that originally the Hathors weren't from this universe.
They were not from this universe. That is true. How to explain another universe? For you, the concept is, at this point, unfathomable.
Okay. Thank you. I believe those were all the questions we had for the moment. And I want to thank you for coming.
Yes,
and
I have one more last
Sarah,
one.
That others.
There is someone trying to
Okay,
speak.
yeah. So after Sarah asks.
Yes.
This will be your last question then, I understand.
Yes, thank you. Is there any advice that you have for me with the toning?
You do very well with your first dimensional toning. However, the first dimensional toning affects the emotional chakras because there is much invisible elements to it. Why is that? Because the purity of the vibration of the toning causes this. Do you understand? It is a pure tone. Many tones are corrupt. I cannot think of the right word.
I understand what you're meaning. Intention.
They are corrupt tones, but these tones are pure. Now, when you find the tone, when you're doing toning, hum along with it. Find that pitch within yourself. Let it come into your entire being. That entire pitch can communicate to you the purity of that particular sound and that particular emotion. Do you understand that?
Yes, thank you.
With your toning, you will now become part of the tone, not separate from the tone in any way. And if those around you are told the same thing, they will become part of the tone and not a separation from the tone, not being attacked by the tone in the sense that it is just hitting them, but they become part of the tone, which is become healing, understanding, and a frequency of original thoughts. Not original, but original to you.
Thank you. Much love.
Much love.
Namaste.
All right, I go now.
Gratitude and love.
Was it that you were understanding the things that I was saying to you? Excellent.
Oh, you came through beautifully. Namaste, Dima.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Live in a vibration that uplifts you, because that is a sound that is pure.
Yes, thank you very much.
You may quote me on that. Mm. How should I sound for you?
Welcome. Who is this?
I'm you call Gaia.
Welcome, Gaia.
Welcome, Mother.
Welcome, Mother. Oh, thank you for coming.
How should I hear you? How should you hear me? I do not know. I do not speak to you enough.
Happy.
Not in the way that you hear me all the time. If you could see who I am really, you would see a huge fire within my soul for the people of Earth. But if you could look at me on the outside from a great distance, you would see great movement across the oceans and waters and storms and cold and heat and life and movement and changing of colors from the blues to the greens to the seas to the... it is just a miraculous thing, don't you think?
Very much indeed.
But yet such a small place. Such a very small place in the universe.
Yes, indeed.
Such a very small place I am.
But so
What
very...
questions would you have?
Yeah. I would like to ask you, first of all, we as a group been working on sending you healing.
Yes.
Is there anything you recommend for us to help you? How can we help you?
Oh dear, you help me so much. The very fact that there is much happiness in this group makes me laugh a lot. Much peace and calmness. I've not been to a place like this for a while.
It's lovely. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful, Mother.
And well, let me answer your question. But I feel such joy here. That is why. I am not sorry for the joy.
The question was, how may we best support you? What can we do for you?
What can you do for me? Many of you send me your energies to be purified. Thank you very much, because that is a great service to humanity that I can give. I can give you your energy of service. From me, you need grounding. Send me your heart. Love me, and you will ground with me in a moment. If you love your mother, Earth, if I can feel your love coming down through me, of course you'll be grounded. It's not something that I do necessarily, but it's something that you do and I do together, because we have our energy exchange.
Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
My waters are in trouble. But yes, you know, the things will happen as they will happen, and they will be what they will be. And I know that Father God, Mother, Father God, and the universe is taking care of me because I'm still here.
So I hear this is your last incarnation upon Earth as well. Is that correct?
What was that, dear?
I said, I've heard this is your last incarnation upon Earth as well. Is that
Yes,
correct? Are you moving on afterwards?
I will be after this place. I will go to some place that is like more like a sun,
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's awesome.
more like
That's
a
amazing.
star. Some people do not realize that suns and stars are the same.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 they are. Yes, they are.
Well, I hope you get to be a star which has another planet like yourself now, so you can watch over
Oh,
it and
yes.
provide it energy. And
There's been so much good energy.
well, you've been through an
So,
amazing journey over the millennia and millennia that you have been present here.
Well,
So,
you
from
see
all the
that
Hucolo members, I just want to say thank you. There's many people in the chat box sending their love right now.
wonderful. I feel that love, and that is why I'm so happy. I cannot help myself at this moment because you are sending so much love to me. I know that you are feeling the happiness and joy that I can provide as well for you just by living on this planet. This is a planet. I am a
yes.
planet. I
Mother,
understand that.
Mother Earth, I also want to thank you for all my flowers. They are all in bloom and they're gorgeous. I
I love the
love them.
flowers. And you are each my flowers as well.
Thank
Oh.
you. Thank you.
I look
I
at you
enjoy
as
it.
beauty. I look at you as the beauty moving across. I know that not all humans are flowers. There are some thorns, but there are but you know, the thorns are there to make the flowers look better. So, I love that.
It's wonderful. We love you, Mother Gaia. Please know that.
I am so happy to be here, but I cannot stay long. There is so much to do.
Okay. Um, so are you moving up with us with the ascension?
Of course,
How is
dear.
that? Okay.
That's a silly question.
Well, since Rowie said that you were moving on,
I'm moving
that's
I'm moving on up.
That's great.
it made me nervous.
You can't accuse me of not having a sense of humor. Look at all the different animals and what they look like.
Oh, wow.
I help sculpt them a little bit. Over time, as you call it, I say, oh no, this doesn't work. I
Does
just
anyone
make them
else
better for
have
for
questions?
who I am, for where they live. That's all.
So what's up with the platypus?
Ah! Oh, I just wanted something interesting with a beak.
Had to be
Actually,
a
I love the platypus. I love the
guy.
platypus. The platypus is a very unusual animal,
Yes.
and has a special place in my heart because it is so unusual, and it brings me great joy. That is what it's for. There, it brings Mother, Father, God great joy as well.
Thank you so much for allowing it to be in my home of Australia.
Ah, yes. How are you?
Hello, Mother Gaia. I love your animals. Thank you so much.
Yes, aren't they beautiful? Oh, you have the kangaroo over there.
Sure do.
The wallaby, yes.
And the
Yeah,
koala.
Can you do something about the possums?
The possums. Yes, the kangaroos and the possums do both have pouches, don't they?
Yes.
Interesting. Not much
You're
alike,
very
but
clever.
all right. I leave you with a blessing. Can I do that?
Yes.
Yes, of course. There was one more question from one of the participants, if you don't mind.
That is fine.
Okay. She said, I have been recently honoring the gods of each of the open spaces, water, woods, mountains, etc., trying to reconnect via the many faces of divinity. Is there any way that you prefer to be honored?
The faces of divinity are connected in many ways. All around my world, the circuits of divinity are in place because this is the time for it. And the way that you can help me most is to send me the energy of those things that are not needed. If you have your shadow energies, if you have things that you do not want within you, send it to me and I will purify it. Like these around me and these that I see the faces and the icons of, send it all to me and I will purify it because that is what I do. And that is why the oceans will be all right. I have my ways of purifying things. I have my elemental people that help me with the purification process. I have my spirits that help me with my purification process. I have the gods and the angels who come and know who I am in my heart of fire, and they do grant me many things. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
Thank you.
Okay, can I get a really quick one in because we got a important question from Agent D, who does the object report. He would like to know about the connection of the Gaia grid and the sacred grid and the increasing connection. Are you able to answer that?
In some ways, I can. They've always been there, both. The grids have been there since I was born. And they were put together in a way that causes creation to grow and ascend. And that is why they are there, for us to grow and ascend with one another. My connection with you and your connection with me. Now, the spiritual grid is not in the earth, but above the earth, as you would look through it to find the earth. And the grids upon the earth are those in the places of the shadows of the spiritual grid. Do you understand that? As the sun shines through the spiritual grid, it is marking the great and wonderful earth grid. So they are a unity.
Thank you. Thank you
for
very
that
much.
Hello, Gaia. This is Guru Dan. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful.
And I can feel it. I can feel you all the way over here. It's so wonderful. I had a question concerning the crop circles, because I had read an article that said the were sending pictograms, and then the pictograms would come up through the earth and then show up on the surface as a crop circle. And I was wondering how many of those crop circles are actually coming from them compared to the ones that the humans are making. Is there a ratio or a percentage that you allow to come through?
Well, there's 3 different kinds of crop circles. First, there are some human-made ones. Not very well. I mean, there's a lot of... You can always tell a human one. There's no energy in it. It does look good from the sky, but when you're close to it, you can tell the difference. You can see the difference because it's not perfect. There is those that are from the aliens that come down and do send energy to the earth and cause a swirling vortex that causes different movements in and around areas in the crops. and causes these crop circles. Then the Uma, which you are speaking of, that come up
Yes.
through the earth, up through me. Yes, there are those as well, and those are the most significant because they pull everything down. They increase gravitational pull, and they increase the density of all the things that they touch. The density changes in all these things, so they can be manipulated in a way that gravity can use them. Does that make sense to you? And these are the crop circles that tell a message, that have actually sound, vibration, radioactivity sometimes, because what is radioactivity? It comes up through the earth. When you come up through the earth, you bring it, the Uma brings that radioactivity with it, because it is under the earth, and it is everywhere under the earth, but it's far down. But as it comes up through, yes. And these are the messages that are not warnings. These are the messages of the truth of the Spirit. And that is why there's so much confusion in reading the crop circles, is because some read them as music, some read them as messages, some read them as so many different things, but they are not all related. There are certain, they have to relate the ones that are made by the aliens together, the ones that are made by the Uma together, and the ones that are made by the humans they can just toss out. So, because they really are not perfect, and the message there can be misinterpreted. So, just throw those out because they do not have an attachment. And the human ones are actually the least of them, if you understand that. There's so few human crop circles, really. There are some, maybe 12 at the most, but so many more that are not.
Is there a way to, can you give a percentage of how many are Uma and how many are alien? Or is it like 30?
Small percentage are Uma. Most are alien. Uma is about maybe 15%.
Wow, 15%. Wow, I was thinking maybe even less than that. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for answering that question. It was so important to me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, they're asking.
14%.
I really would like Sean to go, but maybe Sean can ask the question about the wobble. Thank you, Gaia. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So one quick question relative to that.
Yes.
How do we tell the difference between the Uma?
Oh, your scientists know the difference already.
Right, but I'm
you
not
will
one
feel.
of those
Oh,
scientists.
well, take your energy field and resonate, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah, I know.
It is easy. You'll go. Oh no, that's not. No.
Excellent. Well, that's how I would have answered it. But
Yes, it's a resonation, and you will know Uma from Alien as well, because Uma is much stronger.
okay, sorry, Sean.
Go ahead, Sean Shiny.
I just want to start by saying I'm sorry for all the times that I done anything wrong towards you, but I know you forgive me because I know, because you're my mommy and I love my mommy, and I know my mommy loves me too. My question was, what happens to a person when they come from off planet here? Like if I'm just say a humanoid alien and I come here to live in this third density, am I connected with you, or am I connected with my home planet from, the stars?
Well, first of all, I can sense all the things around me, because it's just like my skin. The atmosphere is like my skin. Oh, of course, my crust, as you call it, the crust, the outer surface, that's what you think is my skin. But I reach all the way out to the ends of the atmosphere. So that's how I feel. And so yes, I know when they are coming, and I can welcome them if I want. And there are those that don't care to welcome, they come anyway, sort of like a pimple on the skin. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They can come, and they will still play their part in what is necessary for to be here. Because pimples are necessary. They get rid of the oil and things, you know. But anyway, they do have their purposes.
What about the wobble on the Earth axis?
What about the Earth axis?
There's a wobble.
Oh, yes. Continue.
There's a wobble with the Earth's axis. The Earth's axis has slowly been moving.
Yes, there is a wobble from that started when you were exposed. We were all exposed to the energy at the center of the galaxy is very strong. Because, as you know, they predicted that it is a great black hole or whatever you want to call it. I am not privy to what it is. I'm only privy to know that it is very powerful energy, and it is moving forward. It's moving out. So maybe we're on the hind end of it and it's pulling it in toward this direction. Not sure. But there is a wobble on the Earth because of the strength of that energy hitting it, because once we were exposed to it, it actually moved through space and actually is hitting all the different planets. And we're not the only one that is hit by this energy, and we're not the only one that is affected by this energy. The entire universe or planetary system that was in line of the galactic center, and some are coming into that line right now, have been changed in some way. So, and that is the only thing that I can tell you about that. The wobble does exist, and it does affect the weather, and it does affect many things, but it will not last forever. It is slowing back down because what happens when you hit something and it wobbles, but it's in a constant spin around a certain thing, it actually brings itself back into that pattern again. But at this point, it's still wobbling a bit. But it will change forever some of the things about the weather and things of that nature. Forever will be changed.
So what is it that is affecting a lot of the animals that are dying?
Evolution.
That's evolution.
Evolution is part of that, yes. The other part is you are causing the evolution because of chemicals and different things that you put into me. It doesn't hurt me as much as it hurts you. You see, I can live and I can still be alive without an atmosphere. I can still be alive without a surface. But you must have things. And your chemicals and your chemtrails, as you call them, and different things of this nature are harming the animals and the trees. You see, there's been much put in the earth in the last 40, 50 years that does not belong there. And therefore the trees, they move slowly. You understand the elegance of the trees, how their heartbeat is very slow, how their energy moves slowly through them in an elegant and wonderful way. Well, they cannot keep up with this. Some of them cannot. They cannot keep up with the damage of the earth. And if they are feeling, because the trees are all connected and the plants are all connected, you know that, right? You know that they have energy for one another. And if the energy of the trees around cannot sustain one of the others, they must let it go, and it returns to energy, of course. But they must survive themselves first, as you must survive yourself first, of course, and have enough energy for you to survive before you give out other energy. And some of these trees are dying because the energy is just not pure enough that they are getting. And same with the animals are being hunted to extinction. That is part of your evolution, but in a sad way because you've caused it. But evolution is the changes that come, no matter what caused it necessarily, it is still evolution.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank
There's
you.
good evolution coming too. Yes.
Thank you for that. If you would like to give us the blessing before you go.
Yes. A blessing. Walk on me as a friend. Put your feet on me and let me touch you. Let me hold you in my gravitational pool and let me know who you are inside and out. I draw on the energies of the universe as well, bring them down all the way to my center some days, because I need my own grounding in the universe. Understand that the light is there for you. Understand that the earth is fertile for you. Understand that any kind of growth is sacred. Love yourselves as you love the light that is making you grow and the water. Love me as many of the elements are, and I am part of. Call me Gaia. I like that name. And call me Mother. For I will nurture you. I have energies that I can give to you that cause nurturing, loving, understanding, grounding. Even I can cause you to be inspired. I love you much and feel you daily. Be with me and talk to me, because I am not a stranger.
Blessings, Gaia.
Thank you, Mother.
Thank you. Much love.
Much love to you all, and I am back down. I'm moving back down.
Much love, Mother. Thank you.
One more look. Hello?
And welcome back, Jim.
Oh, thanks.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hello, Jim. And it's
Wow.
11:33. Wow.
Jim, that was stunning.
Jim, we talked to Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that is so good. It was really good, Jim. Really, really good.
Oh.
I thanked her for all my flowers. They're like gorgeous right now.
Oh, cool. That's the first time for Gaia.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful
that-
energy.
She's
Love
very
her.
giddy today.
Uh-huh.
I think we're going to have to ask her back as well. There was
Exactly.
probably about 3 or 4 hours worth of questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's lots more questions from Mother Earth?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Lots
Oh,
and lots.
sure.
I think today was more an introduction than anything else.
Oh, yeah, she just
Yeah.
was sort of just saying hi.
So
Yeah,
much for you to tell her to tell us.
yeah,
So
she,
much.
yeah, she. There's a lot for her to. She's so, but she was just happy to be here today. I think, just happy, interacting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd love to hear more on that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, definitely. She'll be back. I'm sure. She was so happy to be here. Are you kidding me? She's gonna be back. Yeah. She was like overjoyed.
Yes.
So. Oh, good. Excellent. Um, is there anybody else? Should we continue?
Yes, it would be good if Salusa could come.
Oh, Salutha.
Yes.
I don't feel her around or him or her.
Okay.
Is it a woman or a man?
Not sure. I
Good
don't want to
question.
call it either because I don't want to.
I'm not sure if Salutha is a man or a woman.
I don't know. There's somebody around that wants to talk, though. I don't
Better.
tell them.
Okay.
Oh,
There's somebody around that wants to talk. We'll see who it is. Perhaps
Okay.
Salutha can't make it today. I'm not sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure that she knows there's the space now for her to come if she wishes to.
Okay. Alrighty. Salutha, if you're there, or whoever is there right now, I feel that whoever's there right now is the person that needs to speak. They definitely have something to say. So, alrighty. One more sip of water.
Yes.
Do
Do drink.
you know what the message is?
No, I feel it. I can't parse it.
You can't pierce it? Okay.
Parse.
Parse?
Parse.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Break it apart.
Oh. Alrighty. Parse.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a new word. Alrighty. Let's go back. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you in a bit. Somebody has a short message, I think. Lectores. To go. I'm Lectores. You've heard of me before. I would like to welcome the Fendorians into the alliance of Girk Fitneer. Although I am not part of that alliance, I see the benefits of them joining. I see the benefits of the 6 of them being aligned together, the power of them to influence the universe and the planets. Therefore, I will congratulate them for their great unity. They are now coming together in a way that will cause a greater understanding for humanity to be upheld. I am not of this culture. However, we are looking at them as a great success. We are looking at them as a great leader in the galaxy right now, because they are most in charge of the Earth's benefit, shall we say. They're most in charge of much of the ascension. Not all, but much. We congratulate them for their control. Although their control is very loving. Congratulations. There is someone else that is coming. That was my only intent, is to give congratulations to the Fendorian culture for joining in such a great alliance and being a great help to the universe.
Well, we look forward to hearing more from them and finding out more about their race and culture, so thank you for the message.
You are welcome. There is another who is coming. One moment.
Namaste, dear one.
Namaste. We pull time forward. We pull space forward so that we can be here now. We are neighbors of yours.
Greetings.
We represent the planet you call Venus. We represent the peoples, therefore, on there. We bring you some understandings of the great solar flares that are happening recently. We have protected you from 30% of them. That is why electromagnetic fields have not been deeply disturbed. It is also why your technology has also not been so deeply disturbed. Had it been come in its fullness, there would have been much disturbance and some damage. We want to offer you this protection.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. I do not know how many of you are aware of solar activity, but there has been much recently, and it will continue for a little while longer. At least the effects of it will. So please do not be alarmed. This is one area where Girk Fitneer does not help, but the Venusian Council will.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
This is our only help for humanity, because we do not interfere with your cultural ways. Now, we can help with slightly more of the solar flares and storms. We are working on them for ourselves as well. We have blocked ourselves from some of these storms, and therefore the most protection is for us and not for you. But for us protecting ourselves, it does affect how you are protected. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So being closer to the sun than we are at Earth, obviously, like you're saying, you have special protections from that. How do the solar flares affect you if you didn't have the protection?
The energy sources from the sun, the energy flares from the sun are very powerful and can reach all the way to our planet and beyond. So it is necessary we protect ourselves from that kind of energy disruption. Our technology is based on a different form of energy than yours. However, these great flares and storms can disrupt our technology in a very harmful way, which could cause us to lose our life support systems.
Understood. And is your dimensionality the same as what we are experiencing here on Earth?
Dimensionally, we are third dimension as you are, but not the same kind of species.
Uh-huh. Okay, understood. Thank you.
Very well. Is there... Yes.
I thought Venus had a species of high vibration, pure love being.
We are.
You said it's third dimension.
Hi, there is pure love in third dimension. We are a high dimensional third dimension, but we are of love and peace and understanding. We do not have the same kind of, you do not have the same kind of understanding as we do of what third dimension is, perhaps. But we are third dimensional in the sense that we can be sensed by third dimension, and we are technology of, and our energies are grounded in third dimension. So, but we are higher, yes, that is true.
Do you have dense bodies like we do?
Not necessarily, no. It is a third dimensional density, but it is not as the same material. So it would appear like smoke is third dimensional. So we are more like smoke. We can move between items and objects, but we are third dimensional, as described by those that we know to be higher dimensional.
And are you in our three-dimensional visual spectrum?
Yes, we are. But yes, people are misunderstanding who we are sometimes. We are in a dimension of love and light, just as you are. But you are in third dimension as well. We do have a smoky kind of, ethereal kind of body, but that's all that can exist here on Venus. And therefore, that was what we would take. Then Venus is a third dimensional planet.
There's so many Venusians here on Earth as well.
In other forms, yes.
You're not my form.
They take on the human form to be here. And they take on the form of understanding, and most of them you will find in colleges or schools. That is what they want at this time, is the learning, the understanding of your education, and what things are necessary to survive.
So the Venusians are not involved at all in the Earth Ascension?
They are only protecting you from solar flares and storms.
Are there a lot of Venusians here, or just a few?
Define a lot.
10.
10? There's more than 10.
There's many more.
There is 2,784.
Could someone repeat the question, please, for that?
How many Venusians are on the Earth?
Ah, fantastic. Thank you.
and they're here to study. I thought they were here also to spread the love and light.
They cannot help but do that.
Yeah.
That is an outcome of their presence. So they are here for that and for learning, and they cannot help but to spread the love and light. With your presence with them, you will know they are Venusians because you will feel a high, happy, joyful energy. But there is not that many to be spread around. But there are some even in this area that you are in the RIT.
I have a personal question. I was told a while ago that a Venusian visits me. This is Sabrina, sorry.
Yes, we are aware of who you are. Continue.
Oh, that a Venusian visits me. Can you speak about that or tell me anything about it?
That's the discorporal version from the ship. There is one Venusian ship around your planet, and there are several beings in it, and you are one that is visited because you were visited also by a time traveler, and they were interested in the time signatures that were left behind and how far they move forward before they disappear. You are aware of that person as well.
Yes.
But there was a Venusian there also studying this interesting fact.
Yeah, I believe it's been stopped.
Yes. It has, but they still are tracking it for 2 million light years.
Okay.
2,147,327 light years.
Wow.
Does anyone else have a question? If Sabrina's finished.
Thank you. Thank you. But also in the past, I thought also they were also visiting me before that incident, or was that because of that? And I just didn't.
Oh yes, they have visited you before that, but that was the most recent visit.
Okay. All right, and that was for a different reason?
Yes. I am not aware of the reasoning for that first visit.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Sean?
welcome.
Hello, much love. Send you much love. I'm just curious. I know you're from Venus, but I'm wondering, is there any beings from Mercury?
Yeah, a couple. I am not aware of any civilizations on Mercury at this time.
What about the rest of the solar system? Are any other planets in the solar system currently
Yes.
inhabited by beings we can communicate with?
Yes. Mars, your moon.
Mm-hmm.
There's a planet around Jupiter, a planet around Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the places that can be inhabited.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
What about Mars?
Hello, Mars. Mars is interesting because it is now subterranean. Just like we are.
But there's a civilization living on Mars.
There's more than one, actually. You have humans living there as well.
Humans from Earth or humans that were born on Mars?
Humans from Earth have gone to Mars to colonize the Mars area. However, they've been mostly chased away by other influences. The Martians themselves do not care that the humans are there, but there are others on the surface that do care and want the planet for themselves.
What are the humans doing there?
The humans are doing exploration, colonization, and understanding of the past civilizations of Mars that are left on the surface. Now, the actual Martian species is subterranean at this point. They also know of them, but they do not want to interact with them. But they are studying their ancient past and cultures because they used to be on the surface.
And how long have the humans been on Mars?
Since 1999, I believe.
How did they get there?
There's many space programs going on your planet that are not public knowledge. Also many flying machines that have been reverse engineered that are very quick and can move to this planet within days.
So is it correct to say they're using a jump room as well, like a teleportation device to
They
reach
are
Mars?
developed, yes, they have used it. It is not perfected at this time. They have lost a couple of people and they discontinued using it. And now it is being re-implemented. Did you say implemented?
Yeah.
That is a good word, yes.
And
Do you know
hi,
anything
is it
about?
true?
Is
it true that there was an insectoid and a raptoid species on the Mars when the humans arrived?
This is correct. There is reptilian activity and insectoid activity on Mars. It is a harsh planet on the surface in some ways, but very accommodating to some species.
Do you know anything about 𝗪𝗘𝗕𝗏?
No.
What about Valiant Thor? Could you give us any information on Valiant Thor?
Valiant Thor. What would you like to know?
Well, I've been made aware that he was in direct contact with the US government and he was also a Venusian. Is this correct information?
Yes, and he is still here on your planet.
Oh, send our blessings to him. He seems a wonderful guy.
He is still here.
So he's in his cloaked.
He is
spaceship.
cloaked spaceship, yes.
Where is it? Michigan, California? It's on a lake. I know it's on a lake.
Yes, it's on Lake Michigan.
And on the moon, which species are there?
There are actually several, and most of them malevolent, and one benevolent. The Arcturians are there at the top of the moon, and they are observing. Most of the other species are looking through the moon because they've hollowed out the back of it, because you only see one face of it at all times. They've hollowed out the back of it and have many stations behind it, and they can actually look through the front surface of the moon to see the Earth and observe it that way.
Oh, so is that why the humans are not going there, or are they going there?
They are not permitted to go there.
Yes.
That is why no one has had a space program for the moon since they arrived.
So it's is that supposed to change, or is that going to remain that way?
It will remain this way for many years in your time. Our time it will last many, well, it does not matter.
Okay, and what they done, has that affected the moon?
Yes, it is less dense now. It is pretty much hollowed out for the most part.
And does that affect the Earth?
In a gravitational way, yes, because the moon will be pulled closer to the Earth. But they are keeping it away. They realize that your scientists would understand as soon as the Earth gravitational pull would start pulling it closer. But now, they have made it so that it is equal to density in some ways by technology. Does that make sense?
Can you tell us your name?
𝗪𝗘𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗧𝗧.
And tell us how that will affect Venus and what you have to tell us.
The Venus will be affected in many ways by the rising of the Earth to the next evolutionary level, because we will become a greater galaxy together. As Earth becomes part of the galaxy, much more communication and much more health will be spread, much more information of how to contain one's planet before it becomes extinct. Much more information about the energies of Gaia, because there is more energy here on Gaia of different kinds than there are in other planets. Many different energies have been brought here.
It's a seed planet, or it's going to return to being a seed planet.
It is a seed planet and has always been a seed planet.
Kim.
Yes, hello. My name is Kim. I am wondering to the effect the moon has to tides on Earth and the movement of various liquids on Earth. The hollowing out of the moon, is this affecting the ability for the gravitational pull to keep this going?
No, let me explain why. They have exchanged the matter for densities. There are certain things in the universe that are of great and densities and heaviness that they can just add to the moon, and it will balance out the densities between Earth and the moon, and so that they can continue to have a proper balance. And so they have moderated these densities so that your planets will not collide. Otherwise, they would have collided long ago. Because
so there's a layering.
Yes.
Sorry, there's a layering going on.
The layering?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I confused you.
I understand now. Yes. They put, it is in strategic places, the densities that they added.
Okay. Thank you very much.
What happens when they leave the planet?
I do not think they are planning to leave. And they would leave the densities in their place because they're not easy to move. In fact, it was very difficult for them to get there, but they knew that they must have an offset of weight since they were clearing out. All right, I must go now.
Thank you so much for coming.
All right, thank you for coming.
Have a very, very pleasant and loving and wonderful day.
You too.
We are those that do love the earth, but our religions tell us that we cannot be involved. So we love you from a distance, and we pray for you daily and uplift you in your thoughts and minds so that you might continue and be the great species, even greater than us, perhaps. And that is all right, because if God wills it, that is what is to be. And we love you, and we admire you, and respect you very much. And we give you the love of our species and the love in our hearts to go with you.
We extend those
Thank
greetings
you.
and wishes, yes, and
Thank you
would like
so
to
much.
extend our hand towards you and our meeting in the future as well.
Well, I was here on an educational venue, so that's why I didn't show too much affection at first. However, I do want you to know our love is with you.
Can you share a blessing in your language?
Yes. If you would like to hear that.
Yes, please.
So, Blessings.
Blessings, dear one.
Namaste.
Thank you. Hello. Whew. Oh.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hello, Jim.
Hi, Jim. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you. I feel good.
Jim, is there anyone you can't channel?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Huh? I can't channel any humans that are alive. Huh? Yeah. Oh.
Already done it.
I already did it once. Yeah.
In theory, can you connect to someone else's higher self? In theory.
Yes.
Who is
Yes.
alive?
Yes, I can. I talk to a lot of people's higher self. Many people have channeled. I've channeled many people's higher self for them. Yes.
So when you actually channel someone else's higher self, and you're, let's say, channeling somebody in spirit, you channeling a fragment of that higher self, that remembrance. Is that how that comes through?
It comes through as a connection to Oversoul and a connection to Soul, but it's really cool. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dynamics. Yeah.
I've connected to a lot of different higher selves.
As well as those from spirit realm, which is not the oversoul.
Right, spirit realm is not the Oversoul, right? But a lot of people can do that, so it's that's a lot of people can connect to the spirit world, so that's very cool.
Yeah, I did channel a couple of people that were alive.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I've never channeled anybody that was alive yet.
I didn't know there was that.
Oh, I can channel the aliens and stuff, and James and those with the technology of the aliens. Yes, the alien technology allows me to channel Earthlings from the colonies. Yeah. So, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Obama and Putin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Oh, I'll bring Putin in next time.
You could get in a
Yeah,
lot
he'll
of trouble.
love that over here. Put me back. Put me back.
I don't want to be here. What is all
Really?
this light for?
Oh, that's funny.
I have one comment.
Yes.
If anybody's interested in any of the music and that of the Hathors,
Oh, cool.
Tom and Judy Kenyon. Yeah, I think you can just Google
Go
them
ahead.
and you
Come
can
right here.
actually pick up they have a website and everything else with that.
Say that name again.
Tom and Judy Kenyon.
Kenyon.
You type it here.
Kenyon, I believe.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes, they're very good.
Judi is Judy. So
TOM.
TOM
There
and.
it is, guys.
They got newsletter.
There's,
A lot.
Oh, okay.
there's the name. I have a book.
Oh, you have a book.
Yeah.
She has a book. Okay. So they're married now, so it's Tom and Judy Kenyon.
Yeah.
Okay, another union. Yay. Hello. How is everybody doing?
Awesome.
Awesome. So who wants to say
Awesome.
a closing prayer?
I
Kim.
will do it.
Sarah?
Yes.
Thanks everybody for being here, by the way.
Yes.
And thank you, doll.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Go ahead, Sarah. You go first.
Call you doll from now on.
Doll. I'm so embarrassed now. But
Oh,
anyway.
precious.
That's gorgeous.
Call you Dolly.
Yeah, they're saying they're gonna call me Doll.
Dolly.
Dolly. All right, who's saying the prayer?
I am.
Sarah's going first.
Dibs are Dolly.
Okay.
Like in Dolly Law. No.
No, Dolly. From the blessed continuation of souls, we come and move forward and bring you all the light that you would need for your uprisings, for your risings ups, and for your continuation. There are great needs within your planet that will be met, on top and on the bottom. We follow through with our great ideas of getting to know you better, but not yet in the sense that there is too much distance in thought processes. So now we continue with our light and continue with the soul blessings that come down through the universes and galaxies into your midst, that you may be in the possession of all the energy you need for such times as these on your planet. Please be well and rise up thoroughly through the times given, and you will be blessed and bless all. There is no time like the present to continue your rising.
Takananas korokotokola kariko tonanasikola kioro narioko takati sokorontopolokata ekio kolonas karioko tonasu okarioko sani kari ki kiokota enskarioko nasuru akali kariona sa karioko losi ki tokotos enukuru ala sari enarioko la noskoro kotokotoko Ali karionto sariki nari kaliakata no sarika iyo kuto kasi noruala kataski oroka 𝗪𝗘𝗓𝗪 torokototua, 𝗪𝗘𝗓𝗪 kikuataka, 𝗪𝗘𝗓𝗪 nosotoloka, tahalikatatana, kikuasatu, noruasarantukulokotu, sariakalanasu, oronokoarata, eyiokotoku, naswati, iotakata.
Some of you hold the keys to the universe and the future, and you will rise up on your own, with spirit in your heart and the support of those around you. And we love that those who have the deep love and understanding of the truth will support those that will be the messengers. Happy are we that you are understanding many things and have grown your brains to the fact that Spirit is the great teacher and will let you know and understand all the things that you need to know to be a success on your world and to be a spiritual leader on your world. So happy are we that we are able to help you with our guidance, slow and feeble as it may be in some ways. We thank you so much for your efforts and for letting things happen that will become a great fire in the universe.
Namaste. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Oh, hello.
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 How's it going? Mordred.
Well,
That was
I
wonderful.
I want to remind everybody that donations are always welcome, and that Jim's living room is getting very small, and in order to look for a place,
If
they're
you were
going to
giving
be we're going to need donations. So please, whatever you can afford to give, please give. Anything is welcome. As long as it's coming from the heart, any amount is welcome. So please do donate at humancolony.org. Thank you.
Also, if you're interested in private sessions with Jim, you can book
Yes.
private sessions with Jim by reaching the relevant link on the website. It's pretty clear there. And also, we have Kim doing private sessions as
And we
well
have
now. So if you're interested in talking to 𝗪𝗘𝗧𝗏 or any other things, Kim is expanding. So
Yes.
she's unsure how far she can go, where she can go, but she needs the people for input. So if you're interested, she's doing a special July discount. So check the webpage for that.
Oh, cool.
And get started on that one. I've got a little announcement I just want to do quickly. That's for Will's Holy Fire Hangout, Meet Your Guides, which is going to be on Wednesday, the 8th of July at 8 p.m. EDT. So these webinars have been growing like mad, so get in there. They're awesome. So
yeah, they are awesome.
Also, may I have an
Yeah,
announcement?
I have.
Sure.
The healing hangouts is Friday, every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. All are welcome, and I am also open for private sessions as well.
And let's not forget Roxy also. She's open for private sessions also. And yes, Sarah, thank you.
Yeah, Sarah's Friday session was totally amazing. I watched it on YouTube, and I have to say I was blown away by it. It's really awesome.
Cool.
Thank you,
So
Will.
we have much talent in our midst. Much, much, much. Thank you very much, everybody, for being a part. So, yes, and there's Roxy Swainhart, of course, Roxanne. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your talents as well. And you take private sessions as well, and I'm sure there's other people out there as well that are also doing. Human Colony has a lot of talent out there, so enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going to do a new Echo Bear session
Oh,
before I
wonderful.
leave from Australia as well. So, some people, if you're interested in channeling and you want to channel using a teddy bear,
Oh, that
webinar
your last
out.
session was awesome. Awesome session. I would recommend Roey's session to anybody. It's very interactive and very personal.
I just got to get off my butt and get some time together. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in, everybody on YouTube. All our love to you guys for tuning in and watching. We love sharing the messages, so many thanks to everybody here today, all the facilitators, all the tuners in, all the channelers
That's 2 o'clock.
in, and we are
Reiki
going to
session.
be out. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you again
Thank
next
you.
week.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Love you.
Mwah.
Bye, everybody.
Blah, 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 blah. Mwah, mwah.
Love you, Jen.
I'm not going to stop
Thank
until you all go,
you.
woo!
Woo!
Who is Bill sending energy to?
Raise that flag.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Y'all come back now here.
Wow.